the three-day BRICS Summit has come to a close in Kazan, Russia. It is considered the world's most important platform for solidarity and cooperation among developing nations. Chinese President Xi Jinping, who has now returned to Beijing, called for greater cooperation and solidarity, saying that emerging economies are transforming the world. The high-profile gathering cementing its growing influence on the world stage. For more now on the outcome and what was discussed at the BRICS Summit, we're joined now by Edward Tse, founder and CEO of Feng Advisory Company. Thanks for joining the program. Good to see you again.
Thank you, Salah.
Your key takeaways from President Xi's appearance at the summit, I believe the third face-to-face meeting with Putin this year. And let's remember how important this has been. The countries represent a significant percentage of the global population and more than a third of the world's economy. So how would you gauge its international economic might right now?
Yeah, this BRICS meeting in Kazan, Russia is I say, is a major milestone in the development of the global South countries. As you know, the world is changing very rapidly. I think we're seeing the rise of the global South countries as a whole, in which China is playing a very important role. But China is only one of the countries within the global South, but nevertheless a very important country. I think the fact that President Xi has made it to Kazan and attended the meeting and actually engaged in a lot of dialogues I saw with many heads of states who also came to Kazan, in particular with President Putin of Russia, Prime Minister Modi from India, and other leaders too. I think it's a demonstration of China's commitment to work with other global countries to to collectively lead the rise of the global South countries in a changing world.
And let's talk a little bit more about President Xi and Modi, their relationship and what they got done during these 2 days of meeting. They were able to talk about the fact that they have now reached a deal, New Delhi and Beijing, to resolve a 4-year military standoff on the Himalayan frontier. To what degree do you think this is going to be a significant thawing of relations?
It's very important. As we know, both China and India are very important economic powers in the world. And over the last several years, the relationship between these countries have been hampered quite a bit by the border conflicts. Now that the border conflict has been put into a halt, I think that both countries can play a much more peaceful role and also find ways to develop together, as well as part of the broader global South community, including the BRICS countries. I think this is a major move in the relationship between these two countries.
Yes, and we also have to talk about the fact that it's held in Russia. We know Putin is not going to go to the G20 meetings scheduled in Brazil next month. So what is the impact of Russia hosting the summit? Putin wanted to show the West that efforts to isolate Russia over Ukraine at this point has failed. Do you think he's able to attract that kind of attention?
Definitely. The fact that I believe that something like 36 countries have sent their delegates, and actually most of them are heads of states, to Kazan, Russia this time to join the BRICS meeting in the presence of President Putin. I demonstrated that Russia has not been isolated. In fact, Russia is an integrated and core part of the global South communities, which is represented by BRICS Plus this time. So it's in my view, it's a monumental political signal.
Let's talk a bit about Antonio Gutterz going as well, obviously upsetting Ukraine, but clearly the UN and many other nations are trying to push a way forward to get Russia and Ukraine back to some kind of meaningful discussion about silencing the guns, the bombs. How significant could this be, and why do you think Gutterz went?
Well, I believe that from a United Nations standpoint, they also see the emerging importance globally of the BRICS community, and therefore being part of this discussion would be very important for United Nations. With respect to the potential resolution for the Ukraine-Russia military conflict, I believe that this is now time for these two countries to find a way to settle down and to de-escalate. I think that the fact that United Nations have sent the chief to this meeting is partially to try to make sure that this will happen in the right manner.
And certainly showing the commitment to trying to find a way forward in all of this. Let's talk about the progress on the alternative international payment system, something to compete with SWIFT. The IMF wants to know more about a cross-border payment system discussed by the BRICS group and this past week, and also boosting non-dollar transactions. The fund's managing director saying Thursday that this is something also that is very important to Russia and Putin. Talk a bit about that.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk over the last several days. In fact, more than the several days, maybe even last week or more, that there would be an announcement on alternative financial settlement system of BRICS. But I think when I was reading the declaration of the Kazan Summit, I don't quite see that. In fact, I saw a lot of discussion about economic collaboration and working together in coming up with other ways of doing financial settlement. That doesn't mean that has to be a BRICS way of doing financial settlement. But I think the move towards more doing trades across different countries using local currencies, using some other ways of settling the international settlements, I think is still very much in the game. And in fact, I think this is the major outcome from this BRICS meeting.
Okay, Edward, good stuff. Thank you so much for your insight on this issue. We certainly appreciate it.
Thank you.